Churrrrr Whanau, it is your boy T. Man, welcome back to a brand new episode of Down to the T. It is your host with the motherfucking most. It is obviously your boy T. Remember, it is Tainer, but everyone just calls me T, baby. You know what it is. Now, but welcome back, or welcome to the channel if this is your first time. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode where I was talking about becoming a product of your environment. And that's just based on the people that you choose to associate with in life. So if you watched that episode, I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you jump onto my channel, guys. Subscribe for more content. And be sure to check out that one as well. So yeah, we're back with episode 3 today. And the main message that I'm going to be talking about today is basically around about forgiveness. All right. Forgiveness as a whole is quite a huge part to your, I guess, to your success in a way, and also to creating peace for yourself. You know, not just forgiving others, but majority comes down to the fact of forgiving yourself as well, for a lot of things that you may have let happen in your life, or some things that you've done. You know, whatever it may be. It could be a bit broad when we just talk about it here, but I'm going to be breaking it up over a fair few points as well, and that way we can sort of have a bit of a conversation and, you know, discuss this a bit more. And as always, guys, if there's something that you guys want to chime in on about as well, be sure to send me a DM, you know, hit me up on any of my social media platforms, and even comment on the video below. You know, I really love to chop it up with everyone, and, you know, we can sit down and have a bit of a discussion as well. You know, send me a message. I'm always happy-go-lucky, and, you know, I'd really love to get some feedback from you guys too, or even just hearing about some situations that you've gone through in your life as well. And, you know, if you ever need someone to talk to, just shoot me a message. I'll always be here 24/7. I may not get back to you straight away, but best believe that I will get back to you. That's the biggest thing overall. But yeah, so the key message that I'm going to be talking to you guys about today is basically forgiveness. All right. First point I want to be covering is about forgiving others. All right. Now, I know there's a lot of things that could be quite difficult for you to forgive someone for. A lot of the time, when you forgive someone else, you're really doing it for yourself in a way. And that's so you can get some peace too. You know, forgiving others, but not forgetting what someone has actually done to you, but to forgive them for that, so that way you can get your peace as well. And that can come in so many different forms. You know, that could be coming from family members doing wrong by you, you know, relationships ending on very bad terms. You know, it could be business relationships or anything like that. You know, it can come in many different forms, and unfortunately, a lot of the times you actually don't get any form of closure. And it's quite difficult in a way, especially if you're someone that could be a bit more emotional. Like myself, I would class myself to be a very emotional type of person, you know, but obviously from things that's happened in my past as well, and I didn't deal with a lot of things the right way, and obviously was too emotionally invested into a lot of situations that I've found myself in. So it was quite hard for me to deal with a lot of things. But where I'm sitting now in my life is I've looked at it, you know, I accepted who I am as a person, but I've had to really take a step back emotionally from it and be a little bit more logical with my thinking and how I go into a lot of different relationships. You know, not just a standard partner relationship, but it could be my relationships with how I look at my family and all that type of stuff, in an occupation standpoint. You know, why people are getting upset, and, you know, not just letting the emotions dictate a whole scenario or a whole situation of why shit's gone pear-shaped, you know, because a lot of the times it is just utter bullshit. All right, of why people are getting fucking pissed off, why people are upset. Emotions are all over the fucking place, and they don't know why, but because something set them off, and they're just too emotionally invested and not even thinking logically at all. and I was having a really great conversation with one of my good mates this afternoon. Every time I speak to him, I'm on the phone to him for hours on end. Like this afternoon, we're on a 4 hour phone call, and we're just touching on a lot of things like this. And honestly, it's great to have someone to talk to about this. Like, you can't go around having these conversations with just anybody, that don't really give a fuck about what yous are talking about. Sometimes people don't really want to go too far in depth with these types of topics, I guess you could say. Whereas me, I live for this shit. I love it. It's things that I do a lot of research on. I consume a lot of content based around these types of stuff. And honestly, I'm still learning a lot of shit myself, but I wanted to create this platform to help everyone else out there as well that may find themselves in similar shoes to me, if you know what I mean. So if I can just help one person, man, I will absolutely love that type of shit. But anyway, back to the first point when I'm talking about being able to forgive others. It is a lot for yourself as well. One, I was in a really bad relationship this year, which I will touch on later on. And honestly, I never got any closure or an apology for anything like that. But what I had to do was ultimately forgive that person for everything that happened. Um, and not even just in that relationship. There's a lot of other things that's happened over the years too that I've had to forgive people for. Never forget the shit that happened, but just take it as it is, all right? There's nothing else that I can change on the fact now, but honestly, this shit's just going to be playing on my mind if I just continue to let it just be there, all right? If I don't forgive the whole situation that's occurred, all right? So forgiving the people that have done wrong by you. I've had family members and all that type of stuff that have, stolen from me, fucked me over, talk so much shit. A lot of stuff like that. And unfortunately it happens. But, I'm not choosing to associate myself with any of that crap these days. And that's why I just want to forgive that whole situation. I want to forgive that person, for why they're hurting. I want to forgive my ex for everything that happened. And I didn't get any closure. I didn't get an apology. And it is what it is. I can't change that. But I want to forgive the whole situation just so I can get my peace. And honestly, if you're going through something similar like that, I honestly feel that's one way that you're going to be able to get over that. Get over whatever situation it is that you're trying to at the moment. It's just by forgiving the person, forgiving the situation for what it was, just so you can get your peace of mind, man. Otherwise, you're just going to keep on holding on to it, and you're not going to be able to move on. You're not going to be able to get yourself back on track until you forgive this whole situation. And that's something that I've had to really learn, something that I've really had to practice more so this year than any other year. Because, one, I was just so emotionally invested into it. But forgiveness, man, honestly, it works so many wonders, Being able to forgive other people. They might be in a place themselves where they can't forgive themselves for a lot of shit. But you know what? I'm going to do right by me, and I'm going to forgive them for whatever's happened, for whatever they've done wrong to me. I ain't going to forget the shit's happened. I don't want anything bad for that person. I don't want anything bad for my ex or anything like that. Or any other family member. I don't wish nothing bad against them. I'm definitely not in that space. And I'm not trying to bring any type of energy like that will, make anyone think otherwise. You know what I mean? So, we hold on to shit too long sometimes. And ultimately that's the one thing which prevents us from being able to move on. And that's why choosing to just hate somebody, bro, or not being able to forgive somebody for whatever they've done wrong by us for. So forgiving others is a really good start for you. All right. And then moving on to my second point, now that we're looking at forgiving others, man, sometimes you need to forgive yourself. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself for something that's happened. If you had allowed a situation to blow out of hand, if you allowed somebody to treat you the way that you did, or that they did, or if after the fact of whatever fucking went wrong in your life, how you chose to deal with it. If you become a different person, if you changed and you become someone that you didn't even fucking know, which, it could even be something that you're feeling guilty for in life. And there's so much shit, like, we can all be forgiven for something, you know what I mean? I'm talking more of like the mental health side of things as well, though. Usually, if it's secondhand abuse from other people, or just if you've been wanting to change yourself for so long, but you've just put it off and off, and you've just done a lot of shit. You just went down a bad path, and you feel guilty because you went through all of that shit, but you come out on the other side. Just forgive yourself for the route that you took, but you eventually come back. You know, so yeah, if it's something that you're feeling guilty for, don't let that play on you for the rest of your life. Don't let that dictate who you are, man. Because honestly, man, we all fall off, you know, once or twice in our life, man. And it doesn't depict the picture of us, of who we fucking are, bro. It doesn't make who we are as people, man. Everyone can fucking change. I believe that, man. But only if you're willing to change. But first, it starts by forgiving yourself, forgiving the situation, forgiving fucking just you overall. And I truly mean forgiving yourself. Not just sitting there and being like, alright, I forgive myself, but then instantly have that shit play on you. Because that's not you actually forgiving yourself. That's you just voicing it. But you need to actually action that shit. Deal with it by yourself in your own time. Or seek some help that can help bring that out of you. Just so you can really forgive yourself. And that goes with forgiving others as well. Anyone can say, alright, I forgive you. But if you're still bringing negative energy to that light, you haven't really forgiven that person. And I've been guilty of that shit, especially this year. But I'm at this place now where I am, and I legitimately mean that stuff. Or I mean every word of it when I say that I've forgiven all these people that have done wrong by me. And I especially mean it when I say that I've forgiven myself for the person that I turned into this year. Which is crazy. I never would have thought that my life would have led to the point it is now. But without going through any of this shit, I don't think I would be in this position right now. So being able to start up my podcast and come out and talk to about all of these types of topics that mean so close to me, that are really close to my heart, hits home with everything. I'm glad that I went through all that stuff. I was glad I was able to forgive myself and get myself back out there and position myself better in life, because it ultimately led to the shit that I want to do, which is a lot of this stuff. This is what I fucking want to do, man. I want to be able to help people. I want to come on the record and have people on my podcast eventually, and then we can just chop it up and we can have topic discussions about this type of stuff, like mental health and all these everything that falls under that category. I would live for this shit. But it wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't be in this position right now if I wasn't able to forgive myself for everything that's happened. Alright? I'm not saying this was the only thing that's led me to it, but forgiveness is one of the biggest things for you, though. Alright? But yeah, forgiving yourself for a relationship, or forgiving yourself for not spending your time with someone when you could have. And an example of that would be my sister, who passed away back in 2016. It was a very difficult time. There was an opportunity when I would have gone down to Sydney for my 21st birthday. They were going to put something together for me, and honestly, I ended up cancelling it the last minute because of work. It was a stupid excuse at that time because I just prioritized work over everything else. It was just always that thing that I was built up on. I was just too busy to do anything else, and I just put my priorities into work, when honestly shit, I don't even give a fuck about now. It's all about doing the things that I want to do in life and associate myself with people that I want to be associated with. You know, whether it be family, whether it be a relationship, whether it be, people that I choose to go into business with and all that type of stuff, you know? But I will never, ever again prioritize work over an opportunity to see somebody or what I would declare to be important to me or someone that I really love, you know. I will never do that again. But you know, I had to forgive myself for that because I'd seen her the Christmas before. That was another opportunity to see her, and then I never seen her again. And because it struck me from the side, I had no fucking idea whatsoever. That shit was news to me. I had no idea this was going on, and I believe a lot of her close, like, you know, a lot of my nephews and nieces didn't even really know until it was too late. So it was very hard, but it was something that I had to really learn to live with and learn to forgive myself for, you know, and just appreciate all the times that I did get to see her, you know, and that we did spend together. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, hindsight is fucking great because you can go back and you'd say you do things a lot more differently, but the fact is you can't. You can change. You can't change shit in the past, but you can change what happens in the future. And I mean that by you can choose to spend time with people now. You can choose not to dedicate your time over here and then to spend it with people over here. You know what I mean? But because of that, I will never prioritize work or anything like that over a close friend or close family and all that type of stuff. You know, there's nothing else in this world important than your fucking family, bro, or, you know, or your close friends or yourself in general. Man, family is really big, and that's important to me as well, so, but I look at you as family as if we good, if you're like my close friends, then it's like, I got close friends that ain't even blood, but they feel like family. And a lot of people that I know, I tend to have that bond with it as well, so I think it's something that you know deep down, and only a few people would know that. Like, especially in my sort of scenario, I guess you could say, it's just really we know how we are. We build this relationship together, and it's a relationship where it feels like blood. You know, you're that close. I know a lot of people understand. Like, I mean, shit, Fast and Furious, bro, like family, bro. It's something like that. And this is me being an idiot, but you know, we do it as a family. You know what I mean? You know, they ain't blood, but they are family. Nah, but that's just me joking around. But that's pretty much like the energy and the vibe that I like to sort of bring to people as well, especially if we're that close. Because yeah, if you're really close with me, or if you know me, you know exactly what I'm like, and you can definitely tell the type of person I'm like as well. So, and you know, it's definitely reciprocated. Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't be at that stage anyway. But yeah, so that was something else that I had to forgive myself for, and that's not spending my time with family when I had the opportunity to, and then, you know, versus not having the opportunity to see her ever again. You know what I mean? So, but keep her very close to me in my heart. So I've got it on my arm. That's my tattoo right there, and I've got her up in a frame, which just overlooks me. You know, I've taken it everywhere. I've got it, you know, every house that I go into, I just set it up there. So, no, it's awesome, you know, being able to just sit back here and have her looking over me, and even, you know, looking over me from above. It's awesome, man. You know, I just love it, man. I love all the family and that stuff too, and but it's just one of those things. You forgive yourself for that moment, and you appreciate everything that all the time that you had over the years, and yeah, you just know for future reference now. You know, never take a situation or never take a person for granted or anything like that, because you know, every day is not a given, bro. Every day, you know, there's an opportunity that you might not fucking wake up. Every day there might be an opportunity that you don't see another person ever again in your life, man, until you make it to the other side. You know, when, you know, if you get to that time of your demise, you know what I mean? So, it's just one of those things. Every day is not granted to us. So just make sure that you make the most of every fucking opportunity that you get when you wake up from day, first thing in that morning to whenever you fucking lay your head on that pillow at night time, bro. Just make sure that you make the most of your fucking opportunities that's given to you, because it's not always fucking there, bro. It's not promised to everyone. That old that cliche saying, tomorrow is not fucking promised to us, bro. And that's not just with us, that's just with fucking everyone else that's around us, man. And I see that as I get a little bit older now. Like, I mean, I'm still young as fuck. I'm 27, but I mean, all my siblings, they're getting older. Man, my old lady, they all getting older and that stuff. And, that's the thing. Death is fucking inevitable. Death is just a natural way of life. But, there's natural way, and then there's that also the fact that it could happen at any fucking time. Shit, I could even fucking go tomorrow. That's the thing. So, using those times and not taking anything for granted, But I forgive myself for that. I forgive myself for that moment. It's nothing but love. I love all my family and that stuff, and I'm just going to use it as an experience to remind me always to, always hold on to the ones that I love, make sure that I remind them every day that I love them, and know that I'm always there, and just make sure it's reciprocated. It's so important, man. It's so important. But if that's something that's happened to you, don't hold on to that shit forever, man. Let go of it. It hurt, but it'll continue to hurt if you don't let go, bro. And don't forgive yourself. So make sure you forgive yourself. That way you can move on from that. All right. Third point that I want to be working on, or what I want to be moving on into, it's your boy. Sorry, man. I'm just getting my shit all mixed up, but nah, I'm just hyping myself back up, baby. Man, you guys have no idea how fucking enjoyable this has been for me, man. I've been loving every single minute of when I've been pressing play on my camera, to uploading it all onto my computer, to uploading and publishing it all onto YouTube, man. I've been enjoying this journey. I've been loving every fucking minute of it. And I'm blessed. I'm honestly so blessed, bro, that I can sit down here right before you guys and share all my life experiences, share the shit that I've gone through in my life, and all my teachings over the years. All the shit that I've learnt over the years that I can share with you guys that, might be able to help at least one of you. But you know what? I'm in this position in my life where I'm also a student too. I want to pass on all my knowledge to everyone else out there. But at the same time, I want to level up, and I want to learn from you guys at the same time. I want to learn from other people that I choose to consume content from. Because we can always fucking learn shit from people in life, man. And if you say that that you can't learn a fucking thing, then you may as well be dead, bro. I feel like, and I was having a good chat with one of my good mates, Shane. So he's a personal trainer. This weekend he's just gone through like a learning course, and that's just, I think, off memory, it was about the lumbar support and all that type of stuff. So getting into like the physio side of things, how we can help, I guess, relieve a lot more attention and help benefit his clients a lot more. The fact that he's been in the industry for about, I think he said 25 years, and he's still willing to upskill himself. And it might be stuff that he knows as well, but it could also serve as a refresher. But the fact that he's still choosing to learn and absorb as much as he possibly can to upskill himself and level himself up is fucking amazing. And there's no excuse and no reason why that you can't learn anything else new in this life. All right? Like, what's that old saying? They say that an old dog can't learn new tricks. Bullshit. That's all lies, man. Don't listen to that shit, all right? But yeah, pretty much what I'm getting at, though, is just like, being able to do this is so humbling. I love it. I love every moment of it. And I just want this to level us all up together, create this environment. I can learn something. You can learn something. We all learn something, baby. And that's what we're trying to do. I just want to level up in life. I want to level us all up together, And this is the shit that I want to do. I want to create this positive environment. I want to create a safe environment for all of you guys. If you're going through a difficult time in your life, man, I'm gonna be here. All right, I believe that. I'm gonna be here for you guys, and for everyone that wants to be in on this, we're gonna be there for each other. All right, and that's how I want it to be. But yeah, third point. All right, third point. I want to tell you guys about the situation a little bit more in depth from my relationship this year. The reason why I had to forgive myself was because who I become after the breakup. I had to forgive myself for everything that I allowed to happen to me in a way. Everything that my partner had done, the way that she handled everything and the way that she treated me in a way at the end is essentially because I let that shit happen. But then at the point at the end of the breakup, it was pretty much just all me. I was hurt. I wasn't getting any response. I didn't have any closure. And then I eventually found out all the other shit that happened. And I'm not going to go into detail about that. It was a lot of real sly shit. Shit that I don't stand for. And that she said that she didn't stand for either. But, it is what it is. I was a fool. And honestly, I believed all the shit. I thought I was the biggest fucking problem in the world. But then when I found out all that type of stuff, it just made me lose my shit. And I just went further and further down the fucking hole. And it went to a point of pure sadness, just wanting everything to be over, being numb, to just hate, hate, anger, a lot of anger because I was embarrassed for the situation, because I was defending someone who was tearing me down as a person, someone who made me out to be someone completely different, like saying that that I would hurt them in any sort of way, physically. And that's the shit that caught me sideways. So after I found out all this stuff, that's when I changed who I was as a person, because I was hurting. And I was so hurt, I just wanted everybody to get it at that time. And in hindsight now, as I was saying before, hindsight is a brilliant fucking thing. You could look back on everything and be like, oh fuck, I could have done this differently. It's easier said than done, believe me. But the more I do this shit, the more I learn about myself over the years and over situations and how to handle myself and conduct myself better. This will eventually add up and lead me to a position, if anything like this occurs ever again, which I will never let it happen again. But if anything happens in a similar matter, I feel like I'll be able to walk away from it a lot easier. Or I could just cut myself off from it. But I was too emotionally invested in it. And then it got to the point where I just started tearing her down as a person, because I was so embarrassed for how she treated me and everything that she said about me, how I was abusive and all this type of stuff. And that shit was crazy. I was like, I could never be that type of person, because one, my old lady, she dealt with this shit firsthand, believe me. My old lady went through physical abuse, like mental abuse and all that type of stuff as well. And it wasn't until about 16 until I learned about all this type of stuff. And obviously it was at an age where I could understand it and receive that sort of message, because if I was told that any younger, I'd be very ignorant to the fact and I wouldn't have any understanding behind it. But when I've that coming of age and understanding all the shit that my old lady had to go through in life, then it got to the point in my life where it's like, all right, I could never, ever, and man, look at my fucking eyes, man. Eyes fucking tell the truth with everything. I could never reciprocate or repeat anything that my old man would ever fucking do to my old lady, and the shell of me, to any other woman that I say that I loved. I would never do that shit. And it got to the point where I had to sort of clear my name in a way. Because, I mean, where I stay is a small place. Everyone sort of knew, like, everyone in a way. All of our, like, mutual friends all work together and that stuff. So the narrative was sort of told on her behalf. And I had no idea any of this shit was going on. But then everyone was sort of believing it, and I had no idea until about a month and a half later, until everything unfolded in a way. And that's when I found out, because I was defending her for so long, and I felt like a fucking idiot because I believed all the shit that she was saying. But you know what? Hindsight is a beautiful thing. But that's the thing. It led me down that route where sadness and feeling numb and being at the very bottom of the fucking barrel, being the lowest point of my life, wanting to fucking rid myself off this planet, off this earth, bro. That was the difficult thing for me to come to terms with, because I thought I was the fucking problem. And then, the way I dealt with the shit, it sort of was my problem in a way. I made it my problem. I didn't just up and walk away from it. I chose to hold on to it. I chose to hang on for dear life, for any hope that anything would last, or anything would come from it. But when I found out all the shit that was said, that's when the anger was formed, bro. And I changed who I was as a person, bro. And I tore it down as a person on social media. And that's just because I was trying to get my get back. And did I feel better for it? Maybe better for, I don't know, a day. Until then I was like, fuck, man. I just don't know what happened. It's like I lost full control of me. But that's why I was going down the rabbit hole of fucking drinking myself black every day. I felt like I was actually going crazy, eh? Like, shit was fucking insane. It's like, unless you've actually been into that position, and I'm sure a lot of you have. If you're watching this now, I'm sure that you might have gone through something similar to it, or if not worse. But everyone's situations are different. But this is just my situation, and deep down, I hope that none of you ever have to go through anything like this in your life. Because it is quite difficult. It's a pretty fucked up thing to go through. But I just hope you deal with it a lot better than what I did, and that's why I'm sharing this here. When you're at that point of retaliation and anger, you think that tearing that person down is going to make you feel better, but in reality, you just drift further and further away as a person, and you think it's going to help, but it ultimately doesn't. So I said a lot of bad things about her on social media just to make me feel better, or to make all this pain sort of backfire onto her, which I'm sure she didn't give a fuck anyway, but it is what it is, and I can't change those things. I apologize for those things, but I also forgive myself for that type of all that shit that I done. It didn't happen overnight. It took months and months on end, a lot of counseling and all that stuff to actually, what's the word for it? Like, to actually take accountability for all of this stuff. A lot of the shit that happened in the relationship, was from her side. But everything that happened afterwards, I got to take full accountability for that, because I didn't just up and walk away from it. I was too emotionally invested, and I just, all this anger started to form, and that was from being embarrassed from how I got played like an idiot. But that's all on me, though. That has nothing to do with her. I could have up and left, but I didn't. But now I'm here sharing this with you guys, and I wanted to say how I had to forgive myself for that person that I've become, and ultimately go all the way down just to come all the way back up. But it was definitely out of character, but that's because I haven't dealt with anything like this on this scale before. So everything was new to me. So obviously trying to deal with a lot of shit. I feel like I'm a very positive person with how I think and my mindset, and how I've dealt with a lot of situations in the past, nowhere near to the scale. So I thought I was able to deal with it appropriately, but it got to the point where my emotions were too far into it. And honestly, I lost who I was as a person. You know, that's just how it was, point blank. But, you know, I took accountability of that. I looked at all my insecurities, looked at myself deep as a person, and I had to highlight all this shit so I could work on it. And what I had to do was just, I figured the whole situation. I had to forgive her. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive the person that I turned into. You know, so it was no easy task, man. It wasn't easy, but that's just what it really come down to. Forgiveness. Sometimes you hold into the shit in life that you just can't fucking, you never forgive yourself for, and you feel like you don't deserve better. And I know a few people in my life, some people that I work with, some people that my father for one, that, and my brother, you know, just hasn't got to the stage in their life where they can forgive themselves, or or feel like they deserve better in life. I think because of all the shit that's happened, they just believe, or they tell themselves that they don't deserve better. So they self-destruct almost, and they let themselves suffer. You know, that's the thing. But that's not going to get you anywhere, man. Feeling sorry for yourself ain't going to fucking get you anywhere in this life. And it's just going to keep you on one spot. You're not going to be able to change anything. And you probably feel like that you don't deserve change. But man, whatever it is, you need to find a way for you to forgive yourself or to forgive someone else. Just to give yourself that closure. You know, whether it's closure from someone else or if it's closure from within. You need to fucking find that out. You need to do it. So then that way you can get back on the horse and fucking be you again. Find yourself all over again. Straight up. Starts with forgiving yourself. You got it, man. It's like my old man. My old man was, you know, as I was touched on before, he was an abusive partner or abusive husband. You know, he had multiple women rocking up at the door when he was married to my mother and all that. You know, he put hands on my mums and all that. So, and then obviously they've been divorced for fucking pretty much since I was born in a way. So, being divorced for that long, I think he got to a stage in his life where he's given up. Doesn't deserve better. But that's the narrative that he chose to tell himself. And I think he just sat around, felt sorry for himself, man, and didn't want to make change because he felt like he didn't deserve it. And I think that's because he never forgave himself. And I've had a few conversations with him over the years. Nothing really too in depth because, man, he drank alcohol a lot. So he was never in the right mindset, and I don't believe that he was ever the person to really sit down and have that type of conversation to begin with anyway. People aren't ready for it, man. A lot of people aren't ready for it, and they don't want to hear that message. They know what's wrong deep down, but they just don't want to deal with it. So they let that become them. So you can either forgive yourself for a situation and move the fuck on in life, or you can just sit there, stay sorry for yourself, and let the narrative fucking replay over and over and over again. You know what I mean? But man, I ain't about to do that shit. I want to forgive people. I want to forgive myself. And you know what? Live with no fucking regrets in this life, G. Because as I was saying before, tomorrow ain't fucking promised to you. So I'm about to go out here and do everything I fucking possibly can to make the most of every single one of my opportunities. Straight up. And I encourage you guys to do the same as well. Because, man, we only got one fucking life. We only got one shot at this. So you might as well make it count. You might as well bring something to the table for yourself. If you can't do it for others, do it for yourself. Fucking straight up, bro. But yeah, the last point that I want to touch on before I wrap this up is letting go of the things that continue to hurt us. You need to let go of the shit. You know, it'll continue to hurt us over and over time if you don't forgive yourself, or if you just choose to hold on to it. That's like my relationship. I held on to that shit for so fucking long. And I let that destroy me every fucking day. But it's because I never let go of it. I just chose to hold on to it. I held on to it tight. And I don't even know why. Like, I definitely know why now. But in the moment, you just don't know why. But, you gotta forgive yourself. And you need to let go of all of these fucking things that hurt you as an individual. But you need to forgive yourself first. And I know it sounds like I'm probably repeating myself here, but it's just the fucking actual fact, bro. Forgive yourself for the shit, bro. Alright? Don't hold on to this any longer, because the more you hold on to it, the more you're gonna fucking hurt, and the longer it's gonna take for you to fucking get back on the horse and get your shit together. Alright? You can sit back and make all the fucking excuses. Say that this shit keeps hurting, it keeps on hurting. But man, you need to let go, bro. Straight up. My king and queens, bro. Y'all need to let go. Forgive yourself. Like, I forgive you as well. Forgive for what, though? We don't know. That's up to you to decide. But I also want to say that I fucking love you guys too. If you click on this video, or even if you don't click on this video, I fucking love you regardless. And this is what I want to do. I want us to love each other, bro. Spread cheer amongst one another. Create a positive environment for one another. But I want you to be in a place where you can receive it. And if that means by you being in your happiest point in your life, if the only thing that's stopping you from that is because you believe that you don't deserve better in this life, you need to fucking forgive yourself for whatever it is that you've done throughout yours. Or forgive somebody else for what they done to you, bro. Let that shit go. Let bygones be bygones, bro. That way you can get the fuck back to work. Remember, we only got one life. You're gonna fuck around, or you're gonna do this shit. You're gonna get back on it. You're not gonna let this shit speak for who you really are. Are you gonna let this shit dictate who you are as a person? Fuck that. Go out. Fucking do that shit. Deal with whatever it is that you need to. Let go of fucking whatever it is that's holding you back as a person. That's fucking, tearing you down. That's fucking making you feel bad on the inside. What's continuing to hold you or hurt you. Fucking deal with it. Fuck that shit. Get back on that horse, baby. Back to work. Back to feeling the best fucking version of yourself. But the only way you're gonna get to that is if you fucking deal with this shit right here, right now. Straight up. But it's like that old, there's a good video on it, and I can't remember it. I've seen the video so many different times, but it's a teacher in class, and he's got that glass of water. A lot of you are probably already thinking of it. That video's coming to mind already. He's like saying, alright, what's going to happen if, let's say if I have this, right? Let's imagine that this cup is full of water. He's like, if I'm holding it up here now, it's probably not going to hurt. Now, if I hold it up for like 5 minutes, it's not going to hurt. An hour, my arm might start to get sore. If I hold it for days, my arm's going to be fucking numb. And you know what? If I let go of that shit, if I put it down, it's going to stop hurting. And that's an analogy that I really like. When I first seen that video, and I always see it pop back up on my feed and all that every now and then, I tend to watch it over again. I already know what the message is. I already know what it's about. But it's good to just, watch that. Because it like reaffirms you in a way. And it's just something so simple. A lot of shit in life gets overcomplicated, man, but we can nail it down to a fucking simple analogy of just you holding up a cup with water in it. And if the longer you hold on to it, the shit's gonna hurt. Man, the message doesn't have to be complex to fucking hear it, You don't have to be a rocket scientist to fucking understand that terminology. But it's something simple like that, which creates a big message. and it speaks fucking a million words just in a simple analogy like that. And it's huge, bro. And that's why I really love that. I love a lot of content around that. You know, just simple analogies, but it has such a huge metaphor behind it, or like a hidden message in it. Or not even a hidden message, just a message overall. You know, something like that. I love that type of shit. So, actually, even if anyone knows that video, link that below, because there might be people out there that haven't actually seen it. I'll have to go back and find it, and I'll try and link it. But if anyone else wants to chuck it down in the comment section below, yeah, share that around and just say that this is the video, and then I'll put it at the very top so whoever stumbles across this can also watch it, because I reckon it's a really great video. Great content. I really like it. I love the message, and very similar to like what I'm sort of talking about now. But yeah, that'll pretty much sum up today's episode, episode 3. I felt like this was a really good episode to get off my chest. You know, I like to break up my content over every week and sort of change the message each week. Something that really touches home with me a lot, and then I sort of base it around that for a week. You know, so this week has been about forgiveness. I've been looking at a lot of content based around that. I've been talking to a few people, some good mates, about this type of subject too. So I like to break it up in seasons, you know, but for me it's weeks. So next week will probably be focused on something a little bit different. So I'll probably look into that over the next couple of days anyway, and then sort of base my next episode on that and do a bit more research and I guess prepare my notes a bit more to it. So, but it was really enjoyable to get this one off my chest today, the forgiveness side of things, and something that I've really had to do for myself this year. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are in the same boat, and you just don't know how to do it just yet, or you're not at that stage yet. But I want you to use this as the platform to push you in the right direction, you know. Instead of leaning back, bro, I want you to fall forward. All right, this is what you need to do. If you're very close to that stage of forgiveness, and you know you want that reaffirmation of why you should forgive somebody or why you should forgive yourself, man, just replay this video all over again. All right, replay this whole video. But yeah, I really love this episode today, guys. So if you did hear this one, much love. Thank you so much for listening, as always, you know. But in final though, remember, if you know someone close to you that you think that this podcast may resonate with, make sure to share this with them. You know, link it up with them. Share my social media platforms with all these guys. You know, share my channel with everyone that you think that this will benefit. And also, if you have any questions, as always, please leave a comment below. And I could answer them on the next episode. Otherwise, I'll just answer them in the comments. Send me DMs, you know, hit me up on any social media platform. If you look on my YouTube or my Instagram and all that, you'll see my link tree. I have the links to pretty much everything that I do online. So check that out, guys. And before I go, I like to leave a question with all my audience here. The question for today is, what is something you've forgiven yourself or someone else for? Very simple. Could be a little bit broad, but I think you will get the point of it. You know, I feel like it's a really good question to ask, and I think it's just a good moment for you to reflect on yourself, like why you did that, you know. So what is something that you've forgiven yourself for, or someone else? All right, answer that in the comments below, guys. I'd love to hear what your feedback is. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. But yeah, that pretty much sums up episode 3, guys. And you know, it is Sunday night, so you know, we're looking for a big week as always coming up, Monday, tomorrow. So we're going to start off the week on the right foot, go out, do the things that we love in life and what I'm trying to achieve. And I hope you guys do the same thing. I really encourage you guys to go out there and just run 100 fucking miles and just tick off the things that you want to do for your life and position yourself to be in the best fucking place suitable for where you want to find yourself in the future. But yeah. Anyway, guys, it is your boy T. It is your host. This is Down to the T podcast, episode number 3. I hope you guys enjoyed. Much love. Sending big vibes to you guys for this upcoming week. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. It's your boy T. Let's go, baby. We up.